A comment I get a lot on this YouTube channel is, Mikey, how do you get so good looking? To that, I first of all say thank you, but I don't have an answer. Another question that I will try and answer today is, Mikey, how can I improve as Scout? Now, I'm not 100% sure why people come to me for advice about anything, really, but you're here now, so I will do my best to give you guys what you want. So get comfy, maybe get a snack or something like that, click the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, and yeah, let's get into this. So first of all, let's go over a quick summary of the Scout's stock weapons. So the scattergun is super strong. It's got 6 bullets. This is like your main damage dealer that you'll be using while you're playing the Scout. You'll also want to get close to the enemies to deal a bigger amount of damage with this gun, and you can destroy a lot of classes in a good 2 or 3 shots. Next up, we have the pistol, which is another very solid gun. You have 12 bullets that sort of go all over the place, but still do actually hit your target quite a bit at the time. Not if you're like aiming way away from them, but most of the time the pistol's decent. And this is the Scout solution to fights that have a bit more distance between you and the enemy. You can chip away at them a little bit with the pistol while closing the distance, or you can finish off an enemy who is running away when the scattergun just won't finish the job. And finally, we have the bat, which is a pretty standard last resort option for the Scout. You do 35 damage per swing, so it's only really useful right at the end of a fight. Or if an enemy is distracted and you just want to make them look a bit silly, that works too. But me personally, I wouldn't go around using this as a main damage dealer for the Scout, but it's there if you need it. Now, I'm not going to go over every single Scout weapon in this video because I've made a series where I pretty much do just that. So if you want to go ahead and watch my Scout's Pouch series videos on any weapon that you might be interested in using, you can go ahead and do that. There's a playlist on my YouTube channel, but we're going to keep it quite generic in today's video, okay? Anyway, a big thing with improving as Scout is to use the biggest advantage that the Scout has as much as you possibly can, and that is movement. You are playing the fastest class in the game, and he has a double jump. Use those to get kills. Double jump around your enemies and confuse them, especially for heavies and soldiers. They hate it when you double jump over their heads or you're just double jumping around them because it makes it harder to track you, guess where you're going to be for the soldiers anyway, and actually land any good hits on you. It might feel super weird moving around a whole bunch while shooting, especially if you play other shooters like CS, where if you're running around, you're not hitting any bullets. But in TF2, there isn't any recoil, so you literally could be mid-jump and your shot is still going to be as accurate as it would be if you were just standing on the ground aiming like that. But running around and being constantly on the move while playing the Scout is the best way to play him, and it will make it harder for anyone else to hit you, and you have more of a chance then to aim at your enemies and get the kills. Another tip that will really help you when you're playing Scout is that you should learn to aim by strafing instead of flicking. Now, I am awful at this. I don't even know why I'm the one trying to tell you about this, because I'm used to playing stuff like CSGO and a bunch of other shooters where I flick shot and stuff like that. And I mean, that does work in TF2, but it's not nearly as consistent as aiming with your strafes instead. So instead of just flicking to wherever the enemy is at a time, keep your crosshair sort of in their general direction, and as you're running side to side, whenever your crosshair goes over the enemy, then you just click. It makes it so much easier to hit consistent shots, and a lot of the time you're going to feel better and more accurate while doing it like that. And it feels like that because you're not throwing your mouse around and potentially missing. You're being more patient and making sure you're actually going to be landing shots that you're firing instead of hoping for the best when you do a flick. Now, I feel like the only time I actually consistently strafe aim is when I'm 1v1ing another Scout, because you're not really meant to be jumping while 1v1ing a Scout because it makes it so much easier for them to predict where you're going to go. Instead, you're just running side to side on the ground with them, and every time you cross them, you just shoot, and it makes it way easier to aim at them. Scouts are small and fast, and that doesn't make it easy to actually hit consistent flicks on them, so strafe aiming in that kind of situation is much more reliable. Now let's talk about actually practicing as Scout. That's the thing a lot of people ask about, and I always say, I'd say just jump into games and focus on one thing that you want to get better at when you're playing Scout. For example, if you want to get better at strafe aiming, spend the whole game strafe aiming and practicing it, getting used to it and how it feels. It doesn't matter if you die a bunch or you miss shots, you'll eventually get better if that is your main focus on the games that you go into. I remember hearing the War Owl once say he used to go into CSGO death matches and he used to kill bind every time he didn't get the one-tap headshots. So this is basically just like doing that. And it's the same thing for jumping around your enemies. If you go into a game and you just spend a couple of games just jumping around enemies before shooting them and trying to kill them, then that'll become a lot easier for you to do whenever you're playing the game normally again. And doing it like this basically means it'll be easier to piece all of this stuff together because you'll already know how to do each element of Scout, and you'll be able to then work out how to piece it all together and when you need to do each little thing. It's like you've broken down all of the pieces of playing Scout, you've broken it up into sections, learned it all, and then you're putting it back together so you're not like overwhelming yourself by doing it all at once or learning it all at once. If there is anything else that you guys want to know about Scout or like learn about Scout, leave it in the comments down below and I will do my very best to eventually cover it in a video. Can't promise it will be the best advice in the world because I'm not a pro, but I will do my best. Anyway, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure you leave the video a like and also subscribe to the channel if you're new. It would mean a lot to me. And yeah, I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.